are back. So is it bad manners to correct someone else's manners? Someone wrote to the Washington Post advice columnist saying another diner leaned over and told her, hey, it's impolite to put your elbows on the table. And this woman was actually dining alone.
Can you imagine?
So what would you guys say?
Well, first of all, the woman brought her children to a restaurant, which is a terrible form anyway. There should be restaurants without children.
The woman who was making the critique.
Who was making the critique.
Yeah.
And this hits close to home for me because, as you may know, I have trouble with my larynx. So I can't chew my own food. So I have to bring a guy with me, Murray, and he chews my food for me, and we have to regurgitate. No, we have a nice gold tray and stuff, and some people can say, "Hey, I don't like that. You regurgitating right in front of me. So I'm special. I need to do it."
You're like a little baby bird. A little baby bird.
His name is Murray.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Do you know where this originated from, though? This like
elbows on tables?
Yeah,
what is
I've
that?
heard a few things. You tell me what you
Okay, so what I heard was this is like a super ancient times rules where you would put your elbows on the table, or if you put your elbows on the table, it was considered like an act of like war almost, because everyone was sitting so tight together. There were these invisible borders, much like land, I guess, and this idea that you would be going over those borders was like, what else kind of unhinged are you capable of? And it could cause fights. Did you hear the same thing?
I heard it goes sort of back to the Middle Ages when tables were on trestles. So almost like that, you know? And so if you had people on both sides with their elbows on the table, the banquet table would flip.
Oh, that makes
And
sense
so you kept your elbows off the table to keep everything on the table. And which is kind of interesting. In any case, no matter the origins, can't you just see and hear the woman who would do this? Like, can't you just picture her in your face? And don't you kind of like hope that you'd have, you know, that Goodwill Hunting like come back in your back pocket, that you could just say something about the Middle Ages and it would come out like so perfect, and she'd just be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
I don't want to try to defend her, but let me try. Because she was there with her children, and the kids started it off by saying, well, Mom, she has her elbows on the table. So I think Mom was trying to make this a teachable moment and say, don't do that because that's not a polite thing to do, or whatever the reason. And then the mother was probably trying to look for an ally, like, you know, you probably shouldn't put your elbows on the table, as a lesson for her kids. I'm not saying she did it right.
That's not the way you teach a lesson.
But I'm just saying, I'm trying to defend her.
You want to go first? No, all I was going to say was, like, that's not the way. You keep your own lessons to your own table.
Yes.
You don't go and tell them.
Right.
Yeah,
Sure.
So here's the thing. I have a neighbor. And this neighbor, my kids are always at this neighbor's house. And I hope she doesn't watch. And when she brings the kids home, I'm like, how are my wonderful angels? Because they're amazing. And she always says, oh, you know, they were great, but they could have said please and thank you more. And my blood boils because her little twerp, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
He is the type of kid who is like, I have a fish, and he puts his hand, he says, hi, thank you so much, oh, you're so nice. But then he puts his hand in the fish tank and takes the fish out to see if the fish can like live without water.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I just think there's something, it's like the polite police, I have a problem with them.
Okay, here's my scenario, because even though I can see and hear this woman who did it, I don't want to be her, but there is a little bugaboo that gets to me every day. You know, when you're going down an escalator in a very busy place. So I was taught, the first time I came to Toronto in like 1992, that you stand on the right of the escalator and walk on the left.
That's not a thing.
And so you can see the subway coming and you've got everyone standing there. And so I'm trying to workshop like a fun, lighthearted way, like, you know, sing it in falsetto, you know, like, hey, everybody, stand on the right and walk on the left, you know, like, and you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, that's so adorable. Oh my God. Like, maybe.
The TTC is calling and they like to hire you for a jingle. Stand by.
Finally, some voice work.
Also, I would argue with that. See, as you are being the polite police, because you're actually supposed to hold your child's hand, so two people are supposed to be beside each other. I know you don't think that. You're actually not supposed to do that.
There are no kids at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. They're in school. These are all adults.
Well,
This is a PSA in the making.
Right?
That's all I know.
Maybe everybody cracks at 3:30 and we'll settle this. Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.